Hey guys, and thank you so much for being here for my Riverdale live chat. If you are just now joining us, please say hello in the comments so I can give you a shout out. But hello to Elliot, Rachel, McCara, Brittany. Who else is here? Okay, so I was totally shocked to hear that this show is not coming back till March 30th. I was not expecting that, and that caught me off guard. But maybe one of the reasons it's taking a little bit of a break is because it's a full season. It's not taking like months and months off like a lot of the shows that we watch. Hi, Ralph. Hi, Julie. Thanks for being here. Hi, Gian. So I enjoyed this episode. Was it as great as last week's episode? No, but I just feel like it's going to be hard to have an amazing episode like last week's episode every week. So I wasn't expecting it to be amazing this week, but I was actually expecting it maybe to be kind of slow, and I didn't think it was slow. Hi, Chase. Hi, Ben. Hi, Giovanna. Hi, Ralph. Hi, Mama Kay. So many people here today. I appreciate you guys being here. But I thought there were a lot of things going on in this episode dealing with different people. We knew from the preview from last week it was going to somewhat focus on Jughead. I kind of expected it to be devoted to him. And, you know, it's okay because we learned a lot more about him, and I like him even more than I did before. But it wasn't completely about him. You know, we had a lot of Polly stuff, which was good. I didn't know if we were going to get that. Yes, Ralph, you were absolutely right what Jughead said. Absolutely. Rachel says, no Archie and Valerie moments. No, Val, I don't think we saw her at all unless she was like in the background. This is probably the first episode where Josie and the Pussycats were not highlighted whatsoever. Elliot wants to know what I think about Polly being found. Do you think she has anything to do with the murder? Well, one thing I was kind of wondering about her, and I know this is a TV show, but if she was living up in the attic of her parents' house, like, wouldn't they hear somebody like moving around, walking around? Usually in attics, you can hear when people are walking. And I was wondering, like, how does she go to the bathroom or take a shower? Or whatever. I know it's a TV show, but I was just wondering about that. Deja says you feel extremely bad for Jughead. I do too. And, like, I want to like his dad. I think his dad has had a very troubled life. And I feel like his dad genuinely wants to be better for his son. I really do. But, he's got a long ways to go because he like really wanted to go and confront the sheriff at the end of the episode and wanted to jump to bad, you know, actions, and he stopped. So I'm worried about him, but I was not expecting the Jason jacket in Jughead's dad's house, FP's house at the end. Ralph says totally silly with them in the club. All except V are well known and would not be let in the club. Right. So they get into a club, which obviously you need to be 21 and obviously they are not. So yeah, that was really silly. Julie's asking if I think Jughead's dad is the killer, and I don't, because I feel like they are insinuating that he is. They've insinuated pretty much almost every episode. They've kind of pointed someone out. We've had like Betty's mom, Betty's dad. And I think it's not going to be somebody that they spend an episode making look guilty, if you know what I mean. But I do think he is involved with what happened to the car, and I've seen a lot of comments on my reaction show about that. So I think he probably sold those drugs. You know, he needed a job, right? But he was insistent that he pay for their food. And it's like, well, we know he hasn't had any money. So I was kind of curious as to where he was getting that food because I don't think he'd worked long enough to get a paycheck. So I think he sold the drugs because he needed money. I don't know if that means he's doing drugs, drug addict or anything, but he obviously has some alcohol issues, but I think he sold those drugs to make money. Did he set the car on fire? Possibly. I think he took the jacket out because he felt bad, maybe. I don't think he killed Jason. I think he was like, we need to save that. That's something that would maybe be important. I don't know. Like, I think he wouldn't give it to the family because the family would freak out and be like, oh, so you're the killer. That's kind of what I think. Brittany thinks it's the sheriff. Now, I like that a lot. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the sheriff prior to this episode, and people were like, oh my God, he's so nice. And I really, you know, and he does seem really nice, but I think I told you guys last week or the week before, I don't trust any police officer, you know, people in shows because most of these types of shows, you know, because most of the time in teen type of drama, murder mysteries, they usually are they're just shady. It doesn't mean they're always going to be like the, you know, they're not really usually the killer, but they're shady, okay? Ralph says save the jacket to give to Polly for the baby. Right, so maybe that's what he was thinking. Even though I don't know if he knew Polly was pregnant, but maybe he did at that time. But yeah, I think he was like, I can't burn that, you know? And Julie's also saying maybe he wants to blackmail the Blossoms with the jacket so he could have a more sinister motive there. And that's not bad because, hey, this guy is looking to make some money. But as far as the sheriff, yes, he does seem very cool, very nice, very accepting of his son and everything. Or it could be a lot of people have thought that Kevin is the killer. I'm getting other comments about that as time goes on. I think Ralph was the first one to comment that on my videos, and then I've seen more people getting on that bus, you know? So, I don't know. I could see maybe if he knows Kevin's involved, maybe he's trying to find another person to blame to cover up for his son. Oh, so this is so interesting because I was trying to figure this out last night. So apparently Cole Sprouse tweeted something about the CoverGirl sponsorship because, again, they were showing like Betty's mom with the powder and they were focused on the CoverGirl name. So he called it out on Twitter and deleted it. Firkin, who I haven't seen in the chat, tweeted me, like, you know, like quote tweeted that tweet. And while I was doing the show, so as soon as the show ended, I went to look at my Twitter mentions, and that was like, this tweet has been removed. So I'm like, what the heck? What did he say? You know? So apparently he was, you know, which he cannot do that because he works for this show. I'm sure somebody freaked out when they saw him tweet that, and he's, you know, but I think it does make the show not be taken as serious as it could be because that product placement is so ridiculous and over the top. And, you know, another thing I almost mentioned in my live chat, but I took it out because I wasn't sure, and I still haven't Googled this, but when Veronica bought something from a website called glamazon.com, and it seemed also like a commercial, although I don't know if that's a real website or if it's just like a play on amazon.com and they made it up. Okay, let's go back to some more comments. Let's see. Ralph says, when Mrs. Blossom says the sheriff agrees, the sheriff was like, what? Yeah. Mama is thinking that I think he was getting drugs from the serpents. So was Jason drug dealing via the serpents because he knew he had a baby on the way and he needed to make money because his parents wouldn't support him? You know, I don't know. Oh, another review show put your Kevin theory on their channel, Ralph. That's really cool. Yeah, I think, you know, usually, you know, we watch a lot of these type of shows. It's the people who seem nice, who seem low key, who they don't highlight. So Kevin, you know, I don't know really why Kevin is the killer at this point. The only thing we have to go on is he suspiciously knew where Jason's body was. So there could be a lot more stuff and motive. We just don't know. Could his dad be involved? Yeah, maybe. Deja says, so where did the drugs go? Wouldn't a car blow up 10 times worse with drugs? Well, I think he took the drugs, sold the drugs. If this was whoever blew up this car, somebody took the drugs and sold them. They weren't going to like waste those drugs. And I say that because they're worth a lot of money. Okay. But as far as who blew up the car, was it FP? I don't know. It kind of seems like that, you know. We know he was involved in that scene somehow. Do I think we're ever going to see Miss Grundy again? Asked Elliot. I really don't know. I think it just depends on if they want to make Grundy part of what happened to Jason or whatever, because if not, I don't see the point in having her return, to be completely honest. Thank you, Ralph, for sharing your good theories first. I do appreciate that. Thank you. You always have amazing theories. Absolutely. So we need to talk about the fact that what exactly are the intentions of Jason's parents with, see, I really definitely thought that they wouldn't be super cool with Polly being pregnant, and they started acting like, yeah, we'll help her, and we'll give her money, and we'll make sure she's taken care of because she's carrying our son's baby. But they just want the baby. I personally think they want the baby to raise as their son. Like they want to, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. They want the baby to raise as their child. I don't know if she said if it's a boy or a girl. But I definitely didn't trust them at all. And then Cheryl came forward at the end of the episode to warn Polly, like, look, you know, they don't have good intentions for you. And I thought that was awesome. I still personally do not think Cheryl is a bad person. I, again, stick by what I've been saying, that I think she has to come across as a really terrible, like, bitchy person because she's been literally beaten down, you know, not literally, but, you know, verbally by her mom and probably her dad. So she has this tough exterior. And yeah, we still had that weird scenario with the mom of Jason and Cheryl touching Archie. That was so weird. I still don't know if they're trying to insinuate there that they are related somehow, or what's up with that, because they all have red hair. Deja says, really hope that one of the main characters killed Jason and not the serpents. It would just make it more interesting. So I've been thinking about that the past couple of days, about who they're going to make Jason's killer. And I'm wondering if, and since we're going to figure out who that is at the end of the season, and this is a show where we're going to keep having, you know, extra seasons, I'm wondering, I kind of personally am feeling like they will go with a not so important character to be the killer so that they can eliminate that character and move forward. That's kind of what I think they're going to do. Although I definitely really want it to be one of the main characters and one of the teens. I could see them wanting to wrap up this mystery and move away from that, because it's not like a show like Pretty Little Liars where we have one huge mystery that carries over until the entire series is over. I think they're going to wrap this up about who killed Jason, and we won't, you know, focus on that anymore. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but it sucks. Ralph is wondering, where is Joaquin? Are you talking about the kind of boyfriend of Kevin? Is that what you're talking about? I totally don't know his name, so I don't know. Let me go back and read more of your comments. Let's see. Datsun says, you watched a really boring summer camp movie on a school trip and the leader of the rival camp was Betty's dad. That's funny because I recognize him, and I know Vanessa, when she was in one of the chats, was telling me all the different, he's been in a lot of different stuff, but it's been a minute. I don't know. But he just looks, his face is so familiar to me. Ralph says Penelope gives off more incest vibes than Cheryl. Yeah, creepy. Definitely so creepy. I'm sorry, I totally missed this comment of yours, Ralph, where you're thinking that Penelope Blossom could be the killer. And what are your reasons for thinking that? That is awful, that a mom killed her own son. Oh my God. Well, maybe because, I don't know, I was going to say maybe because she knew that he got Polly pregnant, but that's just, whew, that's extreme. Gian says, do I think anyone else is going to die, and who do you think would be killed off? I personally don't think this season. I really think we're going to focus on, you know, who killed Jason and wrap that up. And I don't really see the need for another person to die unless it is the killer of Jason who dies because of who knows what. You know, I don't know. Yeah, so Ralph says the motive would be for Penelope killing her son is to stop him from running off with a Cooper, which is psychotic on so many levels. That's interesting. Oh my God. So Chase says that Jughead's dad. Yes, Skeet Ulrich. Okay, right. I'm glad you mentioned that. So when I saw that name last night, I'm like, and I don't know why I wasn't connecting. Billy Loomis. Oh my God. Did you watch the Scream movies? They're like my favorite movies ever. Why didn't I make this connection? But FP, he just looks a lot different to me, but you can still see it there. Is Billy Loomis from Scream 1. Different hair and everything. So glad that he is back in the game. Maybe he's been back in the game, but Scream is forever the best movies ever. That makes a lot of sense, Ralph. It's so a Cooper doesn't become the heir to the Blossom's fortune. It's just so wrong. So wrong. Hi, Fred. Thank you for being here. And no worries, because these videos always go on my channel as soon as we're done, so you can go back and catch up on the minutes that you missed. Datsun says, if it's a teen, it won't be anyone more important than Kevin. Honestly, I don't think they would even make Kevin the killer. And I'm kind of with you, and I'm kind of, you know, wanting to prepare everyone for the finale, even though we're a few episodes away. The finale may be underwhelming just because they, I think, want to keep their core characters, you know, each season. And I don't really think this is like a How to Get Away with Murder, for those of you who watch that, where they can have a main character in season 1 kill someone and then no one knows or whatever. They might do that, but I just more feel like it's going to be somebody that's not central to the storyline that they can kind of dispose of. When I say that, sometimes people get really mad. But you know what? There are leads in every show and every movie. And when I say disposable characters, I mean people who are not central to the plot line, who are secondary, you know, they were hired for that. It doesn't mean like they're lesser of a person, but you know what I mean? Yeah, I did see the Ouija board in the Cooper's attic, I think, right? Were they in the attic or the basement? That was funny. Right. So we are definitely getting a second season of Riverdale, and they probably hope for, several seasons. So I feel at this point they will go with a parent, a serpent, someone like Kevin who can be either moved into an even lesser role, forgotten about for a season, taken off the show, going to prison forever. I don't know. Deja says Betty's mom seems like an exact replica of Cheryl's mom, but of course Cheryl's mom is 100 times worse. Yeah, they actually remind me a lot of each other, not by their looks, but by the way that they act. And I agree with you. They're both like pretty terrible. I mean, I don't really like Betty's mom at all. She's pretty terrible as well. Elliot's asking if they will reveal the killer in this season. They have said, the people behind the show said that we will know who killed Jason at the end of this season. Yes, Ralph, I'm very excited for a season 2. Rachel says you think Hal, aka Betty's dad, is being blackmailed and he has a secret child. Okay. Who do you think is his secret child? But anyway, let's see. What else do we need to talk about from this episode? Brittany says maybe Jason was waiting for Polly when the serpents kidnapped him, relating to his drug dealing or buying. They maybe tortured him and someone else killed him, maybe his mom or dad or someone else. So this is a good point to bring up again about someone who was about the fact that he was tortured. Now, if we want to say that his mother killed him, I'm sort of struggling with the fact that she tied him up and tortured him unless she had an accomplice. I don't know. I much more see that as a scenario that would happen because of drug deals gone bad. He owed them drug money. That's the kind of thing that happens when you owe somebody drug money. I'm just saying, like, the serpents. Let's see if we can get this back. Okay. Let's see. It says that I'm on. We'll try that. Hopefully I'm coming back now. Okay, I think I'm coming back. So Ralph is saying that Jason was also frozen, so that actually messes with the time of death. So yeah, yes, Marlene. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me and see me. Okay, Fred wants me to talk about Veronica and Hermione's relationship. Well, I think it's kind of cute. It's not typical for everyone, mom and daughter. I actually found it kind of funny that her mom cut off her American Express, but she actually brought the cash to cover it. I don't know. I was very impressed with Hermione at the end of this episode offering Polly a place to stay. That said a lot for her, and that made me really happy. So I was really happy with that. Yeah, it's Oliver and Marlene and all of them. And we need to find whoever killed Jason, they are messing with these live streams. Brittany says his torture freezing is hella weird, or is hell, either one. It's even weirder. No one is really talking about it. Yeah, so it's not really been brought up a lot, and sometimes I kind of forget about it. And I just feel like you have to really think about that when you're thinking of who killed him. Because I don't know, maybe his mom is totally savage and she hated him and she wanted to torture him and do all those crazy things. I don't know. But it doesn't also, we could have someone with, getting help doing these things, So what about the similarities between Betty and her mom? Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about Betty this is from Julie, having mental issues and all of that stuff. I feel like she kind of looks like her and all of that, but I don't feel like she's mean and terrible and awful like her mom. Like, I hope she doesn't grow up to be like her mom. Sometimes that happens. Like, people are really nice and then they actually grow up to be like their parents, even though they don't want to be. So, but what are your thoughts about that? I'm not sure if I'm answering exactly what you're getting at, Julie. So personally, I don't find them super similar, but let me know what you're getting at. Miss Allie feels scared for Polly staying there. At Hermione's, really? Man, I hope she's not like got a sinister motive. Ralph says Uber A knows I'll be back soon. Yeah. So A is really, they're worried because I think they're worried if I don't like the A reveal that I'm going to make a lot of crazy videos because I will. So I hope we don't have to go there because I want that show to end and be happy and be like, I'm glad we had this time with PLL and let's move on. I don't know. Brittany says Veronica's acting like she's 10 years old. In order for her mom to have a job, Fred Andrews needs money in the construction site. Maybe Hermione needed to tell her that and she'd be fine with it. Yeah, right. Because I mean, it's not right for her mom to forge her signature and all of that, but her mom is having to do all this other stuff, work as a waitress and all of that. So I see what you're saying. Julie says you're talking about them doing the same things during the scenes, like moving their heads at the same time. I've never really caught on to that. That's really observant on your part, Julie. Do you think they're trying to draw like parallels? I don't know. I mean, there's been so much talk about Betty having split personalities, and maybe there's a side of her that's like her mom and she just freaks out on people. I don't know. Yes, Cece's ghost is haunting me. So I hope that Hermione doesn't have bad intentions by allowing Polly in. That would make me so upset. Like, the girl is seriously getting ready to have her baby, like, soon. Ralph says the more and more we get to know Alice Cooper, really, she's just scared for her kids and not as bad as she first came off. She's just uptight. That's kind of what I think. I mean, she's overbearing and she is kind of out of control. And she says the wrong things to people a lot. And she's not always very nice to her own children. But, it did bother me how she lied and told Betty, like, well, yeah, Polly's already agreed to give up her baby for adoption. She's totally cool with that. And I don't like that. I know that Polly is a minor. I think she's still 17. So, but still, that's her decision about what to do with her baby. So it bothers me that they just want that baby to kind of disappear. Oh, thanks, Callie. Sometimes I don't know. I just really, I don't know what I did to my hair. I didn't do a lot to it. Like, I curled it yesterday, and then it's getting longer, but thanks. A lot of times my hair doesn't look that great, but today is like a better hair day. Thank you. I appreciate it. Datsun says the only reason I think maybe Polly could be in any danger at Hermione's house is that Hermione might tell Alice. Yeah, let's hope she doesn't. I mean, she's the one coming forward and being like, we can have, offering for her to stay there. So, like, to stab her in the back and tell her mom would be terrible. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for liking my nails. Julie says, if you look closely, there has been 2 times they have done that. The first time during their talk in front of the mirror, and this episode when they look at Archie during Jughead's dream. Well, I did. That's what I thought you were probably talking about as far as this episode and that dream where it was like they were in the 50s or like in Mad Men or whatever. I thought that was cool. I love their costumes and everything. So that's interesting. I mean, they're probably doing that for some reason. It's probably not just put in there for no reason. So Brittany says, you said it before, but the key to Jason is through Cheryl and Polly. They know him best and can probably figure it out together. And I think that makes a lot of sense because they were closer to him than anyone. So, absolutely. Fred says that Fred Andrews was the only parent that seemed to be a genuine good person, but after this episode, I think there's more to him. He may not be as nice as he seems to be. So we definitely didn't get the whole story about what went down with Fred and FP. I mean, we heard 2 different people's sides of it, which are not adding up. So I don't really know what happened. I mean, he also did something illegal there by, creating time cards for, Jughead when Jughead wasn't working for him, but whatever. Thank you, Deidre. I really appreciate it. Am I annoyed that it's not back? I think they said March 30th is when it's back, at least in the US. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little disappointed and it kind of caught me by surprise, but well, you know what? I mean, like a lot of the shows, if you guys watch How to Get Away with Murder and stuff like that, they take really extended breaks. So I'm okay with a couple of weeks instead of a few months. Ralph says, how does Fred not know FP is not a serpent when both were at the drive-in and FP was in front of the concession stand? Yeah, I feel like he does know. I mean, but I think that's the underlying theme of this entire series is the secrets of the parents, whatever drama they had going on when they were teens at Riverdale High, and the drama sense and the current drama, which I personally am not a huge fan of. I think I've told you that before. It's like, I feel like if it's going to be a teen drama, mystery, whatever, can we focus on those teens and the leads in the show and not so much like what I don't really care, honestly. I don't really like when they get too deep into what the parents did in 1970 or whenever it was. I don't know. But, okay, Julie's asking what would happen if Jason was actually alive. That would be annoying. I hate when shows do the whole, I mean, how annoying is that if the entire first season was fake because he never was killed? I mean, I would say we've seen his body and all that, but we've seen bodies before and that doesn't mean anything. But I would be really annoyed. Hopefully I'm not frozen for you guys because I'm definitely frozen for myself on here. Let's see. Ralph says Forsythe is Jughead and his dad's first name. That's a weird name, actually. Rachel says, okay, so here's another good question. Where was Jughead during July 4th? Because he said him and Archie were supposed to go on a road trip, right? They didn't because Archie was with Miss Grundy. So where was he? And, I think that's interesting. I don't think they'll make him the killer, but, it kind of made me wonder just a little bit because now he has Archie's dad vouching for his, what is the word for that? When you have you have alibi, right? Is that it? Saying he was somewhere during that murder when he wasn't. So I'm like, is he involved? I mean, I don't think so, but I personally would find that really interesting. Brittany says you think that Jughead's dad is a turd and Fred was doing what was right, but he probably should have made sure Jughead was okay when his mom and sister left. Personally, I would think that Jughead's dad is the one who's probably not telling the entire truth. So that's where I'm going. If you're having problems with this feed, try refreshing it because I was frozen and I refreshed it and I'm not frozen. So I know Julie's having an issue, so try that. There's always something with one of these things. I think okay. Come back. Okay, I think I'm back now. All right, I should be coming back. I don't know. Anyway, I'll wait till you guys can see me. Okay, there I am. I see myself. Okay, anyway, hello again. I don't know what's happening. When it's buffering, if you just refresh, it usually comes back, but this time, as soon as I said that, it went to black. Ralph says Jughead would have to run the drive-in, so he was probably there on that week. So if, and he did the right thing because he was like, I need to talk to a lawyer, but he never did say where he was. I was going to say, if it were me and I had been working at my job, I would have been like, yeah, I was working at the drive-in. You can go ask the people, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know if it's that easy because Brittany says Jughead was probably doing something embarrassing. Like he's been living in the school. He was probably doing something he doesn't want to talk about. I really don't think he's the killer, but totally could be. Yes, Paige is messing with me because Paige must die. Let's see. The question about FP's jacket, I think maybe you missed that, Fred. We had a little bit of discussion about it earlier, but what are FP doing with Jason's jacket? I don't know. There were several people with several scenarios here. He could be going to be doing the nice thing and give it to Polly for the baby, or, when the baby gets older, or he could be using it to get money from Jason's family because the guy needs money. Hi, Amy. Thank you for being here. Charlie Louise says you are so bored with Archie in general, even though he's like the main character. Just don't think he's as involved or interesting as some of the other characters. Yeah, it's kind of like he's the main character, but he's really not much of a focus. It's really weird. I feel like Betty is like got a way bigger focus than him. No, I need to follow her on Twitter. Lily, who plays Betty on Twitter. I need to find her, Deja. I follow Madeline, who plays Cheryl, but I need to follow all of them, honestly, because I love reading insight from the people who are on all the shows that I watch. I really like her a lot. Let's see. What do I think about the promo for episode 8? Asked Morella. Why? You know what? I feel like I've forgotten about I saw the promo last night, but I'm like, I think I was busy talking to you guys or talking to the camera. Remind me what happened in that promo. So, because I've forgotten. Oh gosh, I don't know. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Fred says he can't hear me. So many issues. Oh, she favorited one of your tweets, Rachel. That's really cool. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm excited. I will definitely follow her. That's so cool. Because I try to follow everyone, and sometimes I don't always see all their tweets, but that's funny. But anyway, I definitely like this episode. Was it as great as last week's? No, but that's okay. Brittany says you feel like Jughead and Betty are really smart and know what's going on. I feel like that too. Archie and Veronica are kind of more teenager, act like teens and make some dumb decisions. Yeah, I mean, I personally really, really like Jughead and Betty. I hope they stay together. I thought that was just kind of cute how people were finding out sort of that they're kind of together. Like when he put his arm kind of on her, I think was it on her? I don't know where, but it was just like you could tell they were kind of together. And Ralph says Jughead is a minor and they could not ask him questions without his parent there. If not, they hold him or let him go. But they were asking questions. He shouldn't have been doing that. So it was really smart because I was thinking like, you need a lawyer. Like, you need to stop. I've watched too many of these shows. Like, you don't sit there and answer the police officer's questions or the sheriff's questions or whatever. Charlie Louise says, or maybe it will come out that Archie is somehow, yeah, there's been a lot of speculation that maybe Archie is actually related to the Blossoms in some way. So we'll probably wrap things up at this point. I'm sorry about the technical issues because, you know, they always seem to happen in these live chats just a little bit. Let me read Morella's comment. New episode airs, yes, March 30th. And you think everyone will find out that FP is a serpent and there's going to be some kind of drama between Cheryl's and Betty's mom. So yeah, that refreshes my memory. So I think it'll be good, especially after this break. I think they'll want to have a really good episode when they return. Just to let you guys know, my extended thoughts on this week's episode goes live tomorrow. And then for those of you who want to watch my Saturday Night Live, I have that tomorrow night too, my reaction video. And then we have the This Is Us finale next week, which I'm really concerned about because of all the tweets from the cast members talking about how sad it's going to be. And I know it will be, and I don't think I'm ever going to be ready for that. But if you watch that show, you know what I'm talking about. And for those of you who don't have social media or don't follow me on social media, I am not currently going to be doing the Big Little Lies chats. Those are gone because someone in the comments spoiled the ending of the book, which is supposedly also the ending of the show. I've had some people request that I find a way to still do videos on them. I don't think live chats are going to be the way because those are all about theorizing. And since I've been told who is killed and who's the victim, or who's the killer and who's the victim, I don't feel right chatting about it. But I might find ways to just give my thoughts on them, like sit-down videos or something, especially for the finale. I'm still going to watch the show. I love the show. It just sucks when people try to, you know, spoil a show for you. But I hope you guys have a really good weekend. If you enjoyed this live chat, thumbs it up, and please subscribe and become a part of the KELLIETV family if you haven't yet. But I will see you tomorrow with my new videos. Bye, guys.